feel like something's missing, just not real. It's a hollow like I've never cried, an emptiness deep down inside. There's no life of passion, no dream to chase, just plain old boredom, my life's a waste. And everyone I mix with now just can't be bothered, or don't know how. There's no fire inside them to get them going. There's no joy for life, or none that showing. This ineffective apathy so low, my dreams all left. Where to? Don't know. Love life, seek joy, have hope and win. It's hard to do. I just get in. But what then if I can change it all and make some different choices and find a way to lift myself and stop listening to others and their sad voices? There's a solution to this problem. I'm sure there has to be. I really can't be stuck no more. I want to set me free. It's time to move, get back on track and come up with a plan. See, I've always been successful, so I do know that I can. I think I'm going to stop feeling like a victim or acting like I have no say and get off my butt and do the work and not waste my life away. And I have a poem that goes with this, and it says, yes, change can be painful, but it's not nearly as painful as staying where you don't want to be or where you're unhappy. See you inside. Good morning. I just started this while I was waiting for the countdown to come up with a timer, with a poem on being stuck because it was relevant to what we were talking about. And then I just caught a sign over here from my team which said, start again. Never mind. It's like, oops. So it's being recorded hopefully. And if it's not, you can find that poem in my book, Life in Verse. And good poem, so beautiful. Thank you, Parker. So you were here and did you hear the whole thing? If you didn't, I can send it to you if you like. Oh, sorry. That's funny. Activated. Siri just got activated. How funny is that? Okay, so yesterday we talked about getting trapped and staying stuck where you don't want to be, and you had a worksheet for identifying your own changes, your own areas where you're stuck, and your own stories that you've got running. And Sebastian says, what a way to start. Love the poem. Thank you, Sebastian. Thank you. We have the worksheet. You should have asked you some really good questions, and it should have started you thinking about where you're stuck and how you're stuck and all of that. And that's going to be continuous throughout the whole 10 days, so that at the end of it, you've got something tangible. You can follow your process, and you can take that into other areas of your life. And so today we're going to talk about why getting stuck, and we all get stuck, but why staying stuck is a problem, and for you to learn how to question your why for choosing to reset now. So if this is the first time you're joining me, I'm Pamela Hartnell, CEO and founder of Mindfit Mastery and Youre Empowerment Strategist. So first I want to talk about getting stuck. It happens to everyone at some point, and it only really becomes a problem when you become conscious of the fact that something's missing. Something, that feeling you get inside where you're not unhappy, but you're not really happy either. There's something missing and you can't think clearly. And then you think that you start thinking things are hopeless and maybe just wrong somehow. And maybe then you get bored and you start looking for distraction. And that's when the real problem starts for you. So you may even know that you're in a rut and you may want to make changes and you just don't know how. So it's hard sometimes to make changes, isn't it? I know I was stuck in a rut for a long time, but and it doesn't matter how much you wish things are different, it can be really difficult, and it has too many people to actually try and make those changes. And Parker says, what does that say, Parker? That's a little writing. I'll have to come back to that. Ooh, I'm in denial with the glasses. A bit of sadness came from it all. Jadeness got it. Thank you, Parker. Yes, it does. We just get like, I'm not like unhappy, and you might be in a really good place and really successful, but you know that there's just that something, right? That as Parker says, a bit of jadeness. So if you're at this point in your stuckness, I'm glad you're here, because throughout these next 10 days you can do something different and change it. However, you should know that getting unstuck can be difficult, and because staying stuck, and this might be a little bit confronting, so I want you to notice how you feel. Staying stuck can be serving you a purpose. Ooh. Now, I did say that to one of my clients once, and they blew up. And you're ridiculous. And you know, when we get an instant reaction like that, we know something just got triggered. Because if someone said to me, "How's that serving you, Pam? How's that being like that, doing that, having that serving you?" I would want to know. I'd be thinking, I don't know. I don't like the idea of this, and it makes me feel. And I would name whatever it is that's made me feel. So I'll give you an example. My mother used to walk around on her tiptoes everywhere. And she had to go into an operation to have some work done on her tendons. So, of course, then they gave her a wheelchair. Now, my mother had come from a very violent background, and she was very uneducated. And she was not a happy woman. She just... and she used to get beaten a lot by my father. So I don't, without going into my story, and she eventually ran off, and she ran away from home at 14, and then she ran off from my father, and she took my sister with her. But that's a whole nother story. But so she didn't feel like she was anything or anybody, and nobody cared, and she obviously didn't feel loved. So when she had that operation on her tendons, they put her in a wheelchair, obviously to get her around, so she could get around for a little bit. And you know, she never got out of that, even though she could have done the work to learn, walk again with, use your legs again. And because she'd only had an operation, and I'm not minimalizing the fact that she only had an operation, but she never got out of that chair again, because when she was in it, people opened doors for her. People made conversation with her, had asked her how she was feeling and how she was doing and stuff like that. So she sacrificed being able to walk around, and for the fact that people would ask her how she was doing, it made her feel important, made her feel cared about, just that little brief moment in time. And Santosh, thank you for joining us. Yeah, some people just give up. Yeah, my mum, she did give up, Santosh. She gave up because she got more attention when she was in that chair. And it's actually kind of control, because she had to control, because people had to do things for her. And so that was where she took back control of her life. And, it made me sad, and it made me angry at the same time, because there are people in chairs because they can't be anywhere else. And, I wanted her to get out of that thing and be motivated and driven, but she was too invested, and she didn't want to. So it's a confronting question. And if it makes you irritated, fantastic. Write that down too, because I'm not powerful to make you feel anything without your permission. So what gets triggered in your mind, just explore that, because that's going to give you a clue to your unconscious programming. So give yourself the gift of love and growth by releasing that limitation and exploring why you're stuck and how you're stuck. And so whatever your deeper response is, that's a more clue to you, all that unconscious and unconscious programming and conditioning that went in from watching the television or hearing a conversation that you weren't paying attention to, because we're absorbing stuff, as I said yesterday, 24/7. Like millions and millions of bits of information we're absorbing, but we only consciously process a few bits that are relevant to us. And think about going through an airport, right? That tannoy, is going off all the time. You're not paying attention until it says, "Hey, Pamela Hartnell, can you come to the information desk?" And go, "Wait, that was me. That was my name." Okay. So I want you to dig deeper, right? And because think about why you're trying to make that change now, and think about why it's serving you and how it's serving you, because otherwise you're going to just stay where you're unhappy, and that's not going to serve you in the end. It might serve you temporarily. So dig deeper and find out how your stuckness is serving you, and I promise you, you'll uncover a whole bunch of unconscious programming. And there was a message that popped up then I was going to read. Okay, cool. Sandra says, "I've submitted my request to get the worksheets." Oh, fantastic. How did you know there was worksheets, Santosh? There's going to be worksheets every single day. So my next question then, after you've asked yourself how it's serving you, is why do you want to make the change now? Why? What's the point? And I keep looking over there because the so the camera's there, but the thing's over there. Anyway, the questions are over there. Good morning from Brisbane, Tony Moore. Thank you for joining us, Tony. So why? What's your reason for wanting to make the change now? Because if it's serving you and it's not making you happy, why change it? All right, because you know it's going to cost you. But the fact that everybody around you that likes you being as you are, that wants you to stay as you are because they're benefiting it from it somehow. And trust me, that's why people don't like you making changes. They don't want you to show up as somebody else. So obviously we all get stuck. So when I wanted to get unstuck, my why was because I wanted to make my own decisions. I wanted to get it wrong and learn from it. And I wanted to do things. And I was being compressed because I was in a marriage for 25 years where I was told what to do, when to do, and how to do it. And that served me. And you have to look at that and go, okay, well, how is that serving me? It was serving me because I didn't have to make any decisions. I didn't have to make the important decisions that had repercussions that could be like crazy repercussions. So I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to take responsibility. I could just go to work and do my job and play with my children and love my kids and create a beautiful home, which I did. And to the outside world, we had a magical life. And on some respects, we did have a magical life. We traveled all over the world. And I had a beautiful house and I had, a bit of an ocean view and stuff. It was my dream home. But there was still that something in there that just wasn't right. I just felt something. I couldn't put my finger on it. I couldn't label it if you asked me to. I didn't know what it was. I just knew I wanted to do something more. There was more in me, more I could give, more I could do. So I really want you to understand your why for wanting to change now, because for 25 years, my forgetting about my dreams and my goals and what I wanted to do and make my own changes and forgetting or conveniently pushing to the side that I didn't want to be controlled and I didn't want to be told what to think and how to think. I pretended it didn't matter because I concentrated and I focused on just being happy. And so I want you to do the same thing. And so I want you to understand why you're bothering to make change now, because it will upset that apple cart. That's what's going to happen, because those people around you, as I said, they want you to stay as you are because that's serving their needs, whatever that need is, all right? And they'll fight for that loss. Right? They'll tell you, oh, you're different. I got told I was really negative when I started dealing with some of my unconscious programming. I wasn't negative. I was actually just dealing with that pain, but I got told it was negative. So I've got a worksheet for today, and it's a little bit challenging, the first question, to understand it. So I'm going to go, team, you beat me to it. Thank you for putting the worksheet up. So you might not be able to read it on there, but you will be able to watch this back and go through the questions with the actual worksheet when you have it in front of you. Or maybe if you're on a computer, you can. So someone's just, Facebook users change and grow to be the real you. Yes, that's the only thing we're supposed to be doing in life, whoever that was. Thank you for sharing that. So I'm not sure if you can expand I'm just looking over at the document, but anyway, we're going to work through it. I've got a client as my crash test dummy, and we're going to go through this and answer the questions in real time. So okay, so the first question then, I'm not sure where my client is. He's supposed to be joining me. And if you're there, show yourself. Hello,
Here I am.
Sebastian. Thank you for joining me.
It's a pleasure. I am both scared and excited.
Be afraid. Be very afraid. Never trust them women, right? You're just don't trust them. So thank you for agreeing to be my crash test dummy. And do you have the worksheet in front of you?
Yes, I do.
All right, cool. So the question is, why getting stuck's a problem and why you're choosing to reset now, okay? So the first question says, why is getting stuck a problem? And yesterday you had that question in question 8, you would remember if you did your tasking yesterday. And you maybe would have just given a sort of like, it's a problem because I don't get to do what I want. And it might have been a very superficial answer, right? So today I want you to go a little bit deeper and just don't accept the first thing that comes to your head. And that's the reason why I've created this. It's something I learned actually. So if I said to you, why is getting stuck a problem? What would your response be here? It's a problem because,
For me personally, it is because not moving forward to the next level of my life is frustrating. It leaves a void because I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm doing really good, but that's not enough, and I feel empty. I'm a competitive person. I need things to be exciting, and if everything is just exactly the same, even though I'm doing well, it's just not good enough because it feels like I'm failing. I'm not, but it feels like a failure just because there's nothing more I can add to the world. And for me, it's always important to be able to be of more purpose, to be able to, you know, just be creative and give to the community. And sometimes it just feels like I don't know what's the next thing to do.
and I love that. That's a fantastic answer. And it's an answer that I think a lot of people can probably relate to, because I know for myself it was very similar. So then your next question is like, why is that a problem? Right? So your answer becomes the next question. Does that make sense? So what you
Well,
just answered, turn that
yeah,
answer into a question.
it is a
Why is that?
problem because, uh, see, for me, just doing well is not enough. For me, if I see somebody I can help, if I see, I'm going to put it this way, if I'm earning well, but I realize that I'm not earning well enough, that I could have contributed more to somebody else's life, or I could have created, simpler processes for my clients, or I could have um, done things which bring more results in lesser time and yet make everybody else's life easy. That would just excite me. I have the processes that work. I'm satisfied with them, but that's the thing. I'm just satisfied. I think I've reached a stage where I'm not excited, and I need that excitement, really.
So why is that a problem?
Why needing an excitement is a problem, or why being stuck is a
Well, you've
problem?
got
As
a
the
very lengthy answer, so it's like, why is that a
so
problem?
I think you reach to a stage where, as you grow, life changes. You go through a lot of experiences, and for me, the negative that has been now is, even though I believe I'm good at, being strong and moving forward, but one challenge that I've seen and I've experienced is the triggers that come back. They stop me from taking bigger risks. They stop me from trusting people the way I used to. They stop me from expressing my creativity the way I used to. There's a lot of self censor, and there's a lot of, I think there was a stage where I became a people pleaser, and now I'm coming out of that and I don't care anymore. But there is that censor to double and triple check myself. And that is dissatisfying because that harms my creativity, that harms my expression. Uh, I just don't feel the same excitement if I have to think, three times, should I say this way, or should I say that way, when I wasn't that person ever before.
So why is that a problem? That you have to censor yourself, that you're not excited, that you're not doing what you want, that you should have done more and could have done more. Why is that a problem?
I think not wanting to hurt people and not wanting to get hurt in the process
And
myself.
why is that a problem? Shorter
Because
answer. Why is that a problem?
why do I want to get hurt? Why do I want to hurt anybody? I don't want to hurt anyone.
Cool. So you can see, okay, so we can take that down deeper, deeper, and deeper, because our answers start off being really, really big, and then they get smaller and smaller and smaller. And if we can try and compartmentalize it down to going like, I'm just going to give this because I don't want to hurt people. Why is that a problem? That you don't want to hurt people? Well, it's not a problem. So why is it important to you that you don't want to hurt people? So we obviously, when we do it, you work with me properly, as you know, or you do one of my courses, you go into that in a whole lot. So we're trying to keep this succinct, otherwise people will be late for work and then I'll be in trouble. So, so just briefly now, I don't know if we need to go through the rest of the worksheet. I've just brought that out. Um, let me just ask you this last question then, Sebastian. How is your stuckness serving you very quickly?
I think I can't say it's serving me, but I guess if I had to answer that, I think it's just the comfort. It's just the safety of not being in a place of where I can get hurt again or where I have to deal with a conflict again. Um, that's it.
Yeah,
I just get you go through so much trauma that you're just not ready for another trigger.
yeah. Yeah, so there's a whole process to that too, isn't it? It's not that you can't go there; it's just that there's a process to go there, and you have to do it in your own time, and with the right support and everything around you. So fantastic! Thank you for being my
My
crash test
pleasure.
dummy on that. And so I'm going to wrap up now because the team will just cut me off anyway. So tomorrow we're going to Facebook user. Yes, safety equals comfort. It sure does. And actually, good that you said that because tomorrow we're going into the need for certainty, along with its beautiful counterpart, uncertainty, which is part of all the human needs. And we're going to discuss the impact that each of them has on you and your family and your life in general, because our staying stuck doesn't just serve us, it serves everyone around us. But if you got unstuck, how much better could you serve yourself and everyone around you? And Tony Moore, kind of a familiarity. Yeah, absolutely. People stay with things that are familiar, Tony. They do. They don't want to make change because that change is scary, and then that moves into that uncertainty, and that can create anxiousness and stuff. But that's tomorrow's lesson. So until then, I want you to do as I always want, and that's for you to live your life large, live it with passion, be authentic, reset, and be you. Bye for now.